Judge Chayette, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, this is Monique Lyon at the Public Defender. I wanted to let you know, we do not believe there are any Spanish speakers this evening.
Great. I was going to ask. You beat me to it.
Okay.
So interpreter, we'll call you if we need you, but right now it doesn't look like we will.
Well, she's getting ready to tell you. This is the judge here. And then we're in this square. And she will let you know what your charges are. You, Mr. McGee? She'll tell you what's going on. When she asks you to, but she may not. It may be your name. And I don't ever recommend speaking out in a public defender. I always recommend that silence is golden. We can talk to your attorney about that. If you don't need to talk in court, that's not going to suddenly save you. I understand. Sometimes people feel the need to.
Good evening. I'm Judge Chayette, and you, sir, are
Mr. McGee.
in your first name, Mr. McGee.
I'm sorry, Vidal.
Mr. McGee, I have a warrant here out of Tucson City Court. Charges from August 23rd of last year for domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct. And then failing to appear in court on September the 25th. Looks like you were in custody on February 3rd February the 3rd of this year. Pretrial services released you, gave you a court date of March the 5th. You appeared on that date and then didn't appear on April the 15th.
Yeah, I got it. Honestly, probably forgot. Because I'm on probation, so I'll be dealing with a lot with that. Yeah. If you don't mind me talking, ma'am, you said this offense happened on August. You said this offense happened on August 23rd
Of last year, that's what it appears to be.
Ma'am, I was in ABC custody. I didn't get released until September 22nd, 2023.
Okay. All right, looking further. There's a punch hole in what I need to see, but let me see if I can find it another way.
Yeah, I'm just a little. I'm confused on this just because I was released. So I was released from prison September 22nd, 2023.
No, I understand that. I'm trying to, unfortunately, the spot on the citation where the case number would be has a hole punched through it. So I can't read it. Looks like it was maybe June the 8th was the actual date.
Yeah, I was still in prison.
It might have been it might have been June 8th of 2022. I can't quite tell.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Judge, this is the county attorney. Is this a justice court matter or city court matter?
The city court matter.
Okay.
It's a misdemeanor. That's why I've got the file.
May 8/22.
All right. Now, are you currently in custody on other matters?
Yeah, I was released today. It was
Okay.
for a probation violation.
No, come on. No, you're good.
And were you reinstated on probation?
He gave me 45 days, how it felt. I guess, because he told me to check in with my PO tomorrow when I got out, so yeah.
All right, your next court date is going to be September the 16th at 9 o'clock in the morning in the Tucson City Court. You need to be present this time. Do you understand that?
I got you, ma'am. I totally understand.
No active
September
domestic-
16th.
No acts of domestic, September 16th. No acts of
Got you.
domestic violence and no firearms or weapons. Right, thank you.
And is he released on that matter, Judge? Yes, and then you'll get paperwork before they send you out, and it'll have the court date on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shay, that you, sir.
Appreciate you.
Mr. Yule, I petition to revoke your probation on your misdemeanor matters, alleging that you committed the new charges, that you tested positive for alcohol on multiple dates, that you tested positive for fentanyl on April the 10th, and that you failed to report for random drug testing on various other dates. Your next court date on these is going to be August the 14th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Bond is $2,500 cash. City Public Defender's Office is still representing you. No alcohol or drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons. You need to comply with your terms of probation and your conditions of release. Thank you, Mr. Yule.
You're all done with the court now. Mr. Knauer's something. Yes, I work in the same office with Mr. Knauer. He gave me information, so we'll be trying to get you out. I understand you have some stuff.
Start probation. I was released on this case on.
Understood.
I do have means of transportation, all of that.
She'll talk with you in just a minute.
Okay.
She still controls.
Okay,
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah. He sent me information, so we. And the only reason he didn't have it happen this morning is because the
Brother,
judge.
it's brother, yeah. I talked to him.
Okay.
He warned me
Okay.
the other day.
We had talked about it last week, so.
They look just like each other too.
Those
It's
are
crazy.
twins. They're-
Are they?
Yeah, they're twins.
That's not.
For time, but they're twins.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are.
Jamarcus Dupree Shrubs.
All right, Mr. Shrubs, looks like this is a review hearing on your Maricopa County hold.
That's correct, Judge. And Monique Lyon, I am appearing to assist Mr. Shrubs. His attorney, Mr. Knauer, provided me some information and asked me to assist if the court had questions.
Well, it's an out-of-county hold. When was he released on the local charges?
The 24th of July, and he's on probation or will be supervised on probation, but he can't start till he's released. I mean, he's actively start. He's on probation.
Well,
And it is our hope that you would let him be released today so that he can take care of the Maricopa matters. He's aware of them, and Mr. Knauer has assisted him as best he could from out of county. We tried to find out if he had an attorney assigned, and as of yet, he does not because he hasn't appeared yet, so they haven't appointed counsel yet.
I'm going to give them a little more time to actually pick him up, if that's what they want to do. So I'm going to continue this for a couple of weeks to August the 8th at 9 a.m.
And Judge, from what your information is showing, is it saying that they did intend to pick him up, or as far as you know?
It was a
I
bench
thought-
warrant. It was
I
a bench warrant that got sent to my address. I ended up moving from Phoenix and coming out here because I was homeless out there.
Right.
And I guess they had mailed something and I never got the mail, so I couldn't show up. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was running or anything like that. But I really hope that I can just fight it from the streets, you know what I mean? So I can continue my probation.
So, but will it be a review hearing then, Judge, on the 8th, or?
A review hearing on the 8th.
All right, and is there then the possibility of him being released at that time if they have not yet picked him up?
I would say that they would have had a reasonable amount of time at that point, but that'll be up to the judge hearing it at that time.
All right. Is that all for Mr. Shrubs, ma'am?
All for Mr. Shrubs. Thank you.
I will tell Tom, and we'll still keep working on it. I'm gonna let him know you're working. So hang tight. You're not in trouble with the probation case, you're just on hold.
Appreciate you.
Okay.
Stand up. Can you come up? Can you come up, please? I need you guys to stay in order.
You want to do is we want these for judicial review.
I'm not sure. You think you struck me, but you're still.
What's your license? Oh, see where it is. Okay.
Yes, motion. Oh, 40 minutes.
Okay. If you just tell me the date, I can fill it in. Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you, ma'am. good evening. I'm Judge Shea and you are
Alan Julius.
Ms. Julius. I have a couple of warrants here out of Pima County Justice Court. Charges from August 30th of 2022 for shoplifting, failing to appear on December 2nd of 2022. And it looks like you had a court date perhaps the end of August of last year, which you did not appear, and that's when the warrant was issued. Additional charges from May 3rd of last year, refusing to provide notice of your name when lawfully detained. And again, the warrant issued on August the 30th. We'll appoint John Illis to represent you on these charges. Your next court date will be tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning. Per Judge Pesquera's request, your bond is $2,499. You need to abide by all your previous conditions.
Sorry.
All right, thank you, Ms. Julius.
Am I done?
What's your name? Julius?
Yes.
Okay. We'll have a seat back down there. Oh, guys. Here. In the lower level.
Alma, I don't have paperwork for him. For August.
Gunnar, did you want to continue with the next person?
Yes, I'm just.
Dorf.
You my lawyer?
I am the public defender for this evening. I'm here for the felony matters. I can answer some questions, but I don't do the city court matters. And the judge has to find your file before we can do anything. So
Well, I
until
have the-
she's ready to
I have
touch
the
it, I
file,
can't.
but the file, the question is paperwork. But
Well, I don't have any of that, so I can't assist him until you're ready to
I
talk.
wasn't even booked or.
This is your initial appearance, so you are having the process happen properly. Oh, are we bringing Mr. August back, Judge, or are we gonna wait for a minute? I don't mind either.
it'll just take a moment.
Oh, no worries. So she's getting.
Yeah, let me look at the file. Right. Good evening, Mr. August. I have citations charging as 2 counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and one count of domestic violence criminal trespass alleged occurred earlier today. I'm going to appoint Adam Waters to represent you on these charges. Bond on this matter is $1,000. Your court date will be at 1 o'clock tomorrow. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no contact with the alleged victims. That's your mother and your niece. You're not to go back to their residence. You're not to go within 3 blocks of their residence. And Adam Waters is appointed to represent you on these charges. Thank you, Mr. Rogas.
Thank you. Pcho.
Can I get one now? Good one.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shayad, and you are
Michelle Zedgev. Fine.
Ms. Zek. I have things here for you. I have two number of warrants here for you, as well as new charges. I have charges from March 20th of this year, March 30th this year, for criminal trespass and possession of paraphernalia. Failing to appear on May the 6th.
And she recognizes him.
Please, pay attention, guys. It's not well.
Your next court date will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Your bond will be $250 on this matter. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Your court date, bonds 200, your court date is 1 o'clock tomorrow. I also have 21 warrants. Well, no. New charges, criminal trespass and possession of paraphernalia. Alleged to have occurred today. These are alleged to have occurred at 5631 East Speedway. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. Court date to be August the 6th at 1:45 on all of these matters. You're not to go back to 5631 East Speedway, possess any alcohol or illegal drugs or paraphernalia. You need to comply with all of your previous conditions of release. But I have additional charges: possession of prescription-only drugs, possession of paraphernalia, shoplifting. 2 more counts of possession of paraphernalia. That's just 1 page. 2 counts of criminal trespass, 1 of disorderly conduct, another 2 more criminal trespasses. That's the 2nd page. Three more paraphernalias, another disorderly conduct, another criminal trespass on the 3rd page. 2 charges of assault, 2 of disorderly conduct, and 1 of criminal trespass. 4th page. Two counts of possession of prescription-only drugs, 2 paraphernalias, and 1 theft on page 5. Reckless burning, criminal trespass, 2 counts, paraphernalia and disorderly conduct on page 6. And additional charges for possession of paraphernalia remaining in the park and criminal trespass. Bond is $250. You need to comply with treatment and abide by all of your previous conditions of release. Okay, thank you, Ms. Eschek. And fill out the OR, so you just need to. Yeah.
It's right there.
Do that.
Just a moment.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you are?
Bethany Brown.
Yeah. Citations here. Charging you with domestic violence, failing to comply with court orders.
I get Blake or toast.
No.
Very, very cool. Nice. Just wait. That's it. So, okay.
You're charged with violating a court order. If I release you from custody, how do I know you're going to comply with the court order?
I have a court hearing also this coming up as well
What kind of court?
on
hearing?
31st. The family court case. It's actually emergency court hearing as well. So
So I release you from custody, you're going to comply with court orders and appear in court?
yes.
You have not contact Mr. Brown?
No.
No, you won't comply with no contact, or you will not contact him?
Oh, I will comply. I will not contact him or anything. Sorry.
I'll give you a chance and release you on this with court date September the 10th at 1:30. No contact with Mr. Brown except through superior court order. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You don't go near his residence or workplace. Right, thank you.
Alton,
Should I get a pic?
you'll get paper when you're released.
Thank you.
It'll have your court dates and information on it.
Thank you, guys.
Mhm.
He's with them to the lower level.
Should we go this? Should we go on? Yeah. You, have a seat.
Hello, Mayor.
Are you Caleb?
I am Caleb.
Have a sit, and the judge will be right there. She's behind the computer, the screen. She'll be with you in just a minute.
What's that, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm sometimes hard to see.
Ma'am, may I
Hold
add
on,
something?
she's not ready yet. You said she's sometimes hard to see. Just hold on. We can see you. Yes, wait your turn. She'll start talking and she'll let you know when she wants to hear from you.
Understood. So cold.
Mhm.
I don't know how to do it every day.
Some days are colder than others. Some days aren't so cold. This is like in between.
Right? Oh my goodness. It's so but maybe I'll speak with you.
The judge will tell you when she needs you to say it, but yes, she does. Yes, she's checking her computer for your court information, and then she'll have a file in front of her. Mhm.
All right, I'm Judge Shady, and your name, sir, is?
Caleb William David Jakey, United States Army veteran. War in Afghanistan.
Question? Get it. You're good. Hold on.
Understood.
Citations here charging you with domestic violence, criminal damage, and with resisting arrest, alleged to have occurred earlier today.
Yes, ma'am. I had just completed 12 days of mental health, behavioral health treatment where I have been ordered by Dr. Diaz to take medications as prescribed daily, which I have been doing. And I haven't been getting any sleep. And I've also been getting no water. And I've been extremely dehydrated. And what happened was an accident with my father where I broke a window and he overreacted.
Okay, you
And-
really don't want to talk about facts of the case.
Okay, man. Okay, I understand. I just would love to see my family again today. I can make things right this time. Finally. Because the petition that my father made,
Oh, hold on. He asked you not to talk about facts. Just stop. I know you're anxious. It's hard, but you can do it. Just hold on.
my heart.
Right, your next court date is going to be the 29th of August at 9 o'clock in the morning in
Yes.
Tucson State Court. Do you understand? You need to be present at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you have an attorney on some other charges. That attorney does not represent you on these charges. So if that attorney says you don't need to come to court, you still need to be in Tucson City Court on August 29th. Do you understand that?
I do understand that.
All right, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. You don't go back to your father's residence. Do you understand that?
Understood. Yes.
If you have personal belongings there, you can go back once with law enforcement. You need to comply with your treatment, take all your medication as prescribed, and you need to contact your pretrial services officer tomorrow.
I can do that immediately. Is that under? I'll be released to do those things?
Yes, you
To
will.
contact. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Mr. Jakey.
I have the Veteran Affairs backing me, the Veteran Affairs Administration helping me with this. Thank you. I will not.
I have a
harass-
note that you might be appropriate for transfer to our Veterans Court. So.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
He's all done?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your understanding. God bless America.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Dorfman.
Mr. Dorfman. Interim complaint charging you with first-degree murder, domestic violence, and cruelty to animals. Alleged occurred yesterday evening. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions.
I
Your
would
Honor,
just- After the state.
Your Honor, the state is requesting the $1 million bond. The defendant does have an active NVCA flag. He does have a history of, I believe it was just a misdemeanor, but a criminal history due to the nature of the offense involving obviously a homicide of the human victim as well as the shooting of the pet. The state is requesting $1 million bond for the safety of the community.
And Ms. Lyon.
Your Honor, I note that there is the new system in place, so please forgive me. I don't have a clear idea of what the court might be thinking based on the new system. However, given the state's request for $1 million bond, we're asking you to consider a substantially lower amount. Mr. Dorfman is employed full-time. He resides alone. And certainly don't have all the psychiatry background, but in general, this is not someone who is having situations with multiple victims or multiple alleged victims. He, as the state noted, has no felony history. And although he has one misdemeanor for DV that is recent, that's all that we're seeing here. And we're asking you to please consider a substantially lower amount.
Anything further, Mr. Terrence?
Nothing further from the state.
Preliminary hearing date is going to be August the 8th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Bond is $750,000. If you post the bond, you'll be in the supervision of pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons. They participate in substance abuse and behavioral health assessment and treatment or the supervision of pretrial services. No contact with the family of the alleged victim or any domestic animals. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Dorfman.
And then the attorney will be out, but you can contact them as soon as they allow you to use the phone. But they'll usually come out by tomorrow midday. That's what I anticipate. And you're all done for now. Hang in there. Enter.
So come back up.
Lopez. Let's check it here.
Spencer. Everybody's coming.
See, your judge is right there. She'll be with you in just a minute.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you, sir, are
Alvarado.
Mr. Alvarado. I have a couple things here for you. I have a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court charging you with domestic violence aggravated assault alleged to have occurred on the 12th of April. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. Set an arraignment date of August the 5th at 1:30, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing further from the state, Judge.
Judge, we just ask that, any bond that you impose be as low as possible. He has a probation hold, so he is not likely to post any bond anytime soon.
I'll reduce the bond to $25,000. If you post that, you'll be in a description of pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons. No contact with Carla or Guido. That begins right now. You don't go near her residence or workplace.
Okay.
Additionally,
Yeah.
Listen. Yes.
Yeah.
I have charges today charging you with burglary for residential structure. Get a public defender's office to represent you on this. Set a preliminary hearing date for August the 8th at 1:30. And did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
No, Your
Nothing
Honor,
further
thank
from the
you.
state.
All right, bond will be $2,500. No alcohol or drugs, no contact with the alleged victims, your co-defendants, except through legal counsel. You're not to return to the incident location. Thank you, Mr. Alvarado.
You like, here's your court information.
Good.
If you want this, you can take it.
No, you can throw it.
All right. Cool. He had a 25,000 on the warrant case and 2,500 on the burglary. So he's got 5. That's Take a motion to go. Yeah.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shea and you, sir, are
Christian Alvarez.
Mr. Alfred. Interim complaint charging you with 2 counts of armed robbery, 2 counts of aggravated robbery, 2 counts of first degree burglary alleged to occur on or about the 22nd of July. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
And Your Honor, from the defense side, we are asking that you consider no more than $1,000 bond, given that he has a probation hold.
All right. Preliminary hearing date will be August the 8th at 1:30. Bond will be $2,500. If you post that, you'll be in a situation of pretrial services, no alcohol, illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, no contact with the alleged victims or any co-defendants except through legal counsel, no vaping equipment or supplies, and you don't go to any Circle K stores. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarez.
And make sure you know what's going on with your probation case before you post any money, because they won't let you out on that. So don't waste your money until you know you're clear on the probation case.
I'm studying. Oh. There.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea and you are? Mr. Capital, interim complaint charging you with secondary burglary and possession of narcotics. Paraphernalia. Will appoint legal advocate to represent you. Set a preliminary hearing date for August the 8th at 1:30. Did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Your Honor, we're hopeful that you would consider, I understand he has a felony history, and I'm not discounting that. I would ask that you consider, however, a lower bond because of his unemployment status. He is having court-appointed counsel, as he does not have a lot of financial means. Thank you.
I might have considered pretrial release, but for his failure to appear history. Bond is $2,500. If you post the bond, you'll be in a situation of pretrial services, no alcohol or drugs, no firearms or weapons, no contact with alleged victims or your co-defendants except through legal counsel, and you don't return to the incident location. I suggest you not discuss the matter with anyone except your attorney. Then I have charges here from June the 12th. Charging you with theft and possession of paraphernalia.
Oh, that's right.
I'm a little concerned because you were in custody, you were released on this matter, and then you didn't show up. I'm going to appoint Saul Huerta to represent you on these charges. Once you are out of custody, however, he will be withdrawn on this matter. You're not to have any contact with the alleged victim in this matter. That's your uncle. You're not to go near his residence. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next court date is September the 4th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're still in custody, then Mr. Huerta will appear or make arrangements. If you are out of custody, you need to be present in Tucson City Court. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Cabral.
Your court date and attorney information. No, it's $2,500. Yeah. Can you check, does Mr. Carrillo Borquez have a hold up from probation? Okay, thank you.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you are
Good evening, Your Honor. I'm Hector Carrillo Borquez.
Mr. Carrillo Borquez. Interim complaint charging you with domestic violence, aggravated harassment, domestic violence, kidnapping, aggravated domestic violence. Alleged occurred on or about the 14th. Of this month. We'll appoint Trevor Hill to represent you on these charges. And did either counsel wish to be heard further on?
Your Honor, the state does have concerns for the victim's safety. I do understand that in the pretrial services workup, she stated that she does not have an objection to his release. However, he is on probation for a felony case involving that same victim. He is on probation for 3 separate misdemeanor domestic violence cases involving that same victim. So the state is concerned about the history of violence, the safety of the victim. I'm not sure if there is a probation hold. However, those do go away depending on what happens with those cases. So the state is asking for a $75,000 bond and not just a time credit bond. The state is asking that the bond reflect the seriousness of these allegations as well as the potential harm to the victim.
And anything further from defense?
Yes, Your Honor. So I asked the clerk here and they're not showing any probation holds. The pretrial services report does indicate the 2 probations, and it does appear that Mr. Carrillo Bajorquez has a hearing coming up on August 13th in his felony probation case in reference to a petition to revoke probation. So that's not something that looks like it's just going to go away or disappear. I certainly understand the state having concern for the victim, but again, as that individual has indicated, she does not reside in the same home with him. She does not have an objection to contact with him, and she provided some information on him, including that he is employed full-time, and we would like him to be able to keep his employment. We would ask you to note his young age. And despite the fact that we have an issue here, it looks like it was not a conventional weapon. It says it was plastic wrap that caused bruising and red marks. There are no fractures, no hospitalization. So for all of those reasons, we ask that that bond be no more than $7,500 instead of $75,000.
Preliminary hearing date is August the 8th at 1:30. Bond is $25,000. If you post the bond, you'll be the student of pretrial services. No alcohol or drugs, no accident, domestic violence, no firearms or weapons. No contact with Ms. Beltran, even though she says contact is okay. No contact with her. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not to go to her residence or workplace. And Trevor Hill is appointed to represent you. Thank you, Mr. Carrillo Borquez.
Mr. Hill's phone number will be on the paperwork they give you before they place you in your housing unit. If you're able to post the bond, it's cash or secured. So you'll have to put a percentage down and have collateral, but you can work that out with a bond agent. If you can't afford that, definitely speak to Mr. Hill and he'll assist you.
Okay, thank you.
He's the attorney. That's
Okay.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Victor
Hold me.
Holly Miranda.
Mr. Holly Miranda. Interim complaint charging a secondary burglary. We'll appoint legal defender's office to represent you on these charges. set a preliminary hearing date of August the 8th. And did either council wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, I am asking that you consider release of Mr. Holly Miranda to pretrial services. His last felony,
If you note, that's the state's recommendation.
I did not catch that, but that's, like I said, Judge, I'm still getting used to this new thing. Where it
We all
doesn't say
are.
pretrial release. So I will stop and I'm recommending his release.
Okay. You're going to be released from third-party custody of pretrial services. Conditions will include no alcohol or drugs, no firearms or weapons, participating in monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial services, no contact with the alleged victims or the co-defendants except through legal counsel, and not returning to the incident location. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And I also.
I did it. Okay, sorry, Judge. I had a question about the court date. Will it remain August 8th because of
Right.
co-defendants? Okay, thank you.
I also have warrant here for you out of Tucson City Court. Charges from May the 1st this year for shoplifting and failing to appear in court. Including, let's see, I released you on August the 17th. You didn't appear on, of last year, you didn't appear on September the 14th. Another judge released you from custody on July 5th of last year. You didn't appear on August the 3rd of last year. Pretrial services released you pre-booking on February the 4th of last year. You didn't appear on March the 7th. And you were in custody on July the 28th, so almost exactly 2 years ago. These charges. And you didn't appear on August the 31st. Initially, you were supposed to be in court on May the 12th. So you've never appeared. Are you going to show up next time?
Yes, ma'am.
One last chance. You don't go back to 530 East Valencia. Substance abuse assessment and treatment, which is what I ordered last time I saw you. All right, your court date's August the 28th at 9 a.m. in Tucson City Court. Your attorney says you don't need to come to court. They're just talking about August the 8th. You still need to be in Tucson City Court on August the 28th. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Humanis.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade and you are?
Francisco Jimenez.
Mr. Humanis, interim complaint charging with secondary burglary, tampering with physical evidence, and possession of paraphernalia. Will appoint Joseph D. Roberto to represent you on these charges and at either county.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Nothing at this time. I apologize. Thank you. Sorry for coughing.
So you did not wish to be heard, even though the state's requesting bond?
Not at this time, Your Honor. I think that his situation speaks for itself, and I would just say that he does have family and community support in the community.
Bond is $2,500. No alcohol and drugs. No contact with the alleged victims or co-defendants except through legal counsel. You don't go back to the incident location. You also need to engage in substance abuse and behavioral health assessment and treatment while you're in custody and or as directed by pretrial services. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I also have a misdemeanor file here for you. Charges from June the 25th for possession of paraphernalia. Looks like you were supposed to be in court on July the 8th. Court date on this is August 28th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. While you're in custody, Saul Huerta will be appointed to represent you. So if you're still in custody on August the 28th, he'll take care of the matter. If you're out of custody, you need to appear. If your public defender, if Mr. De Roberto tells you you don't need to come to court, that's only August the 8th. You still need to appear on August the 28th. And again, behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment. Thank you, Mr. Humanis.
That's right. Yeah. It's up to her. It's up to her. I know. No, I have one. It's regarding drug possession from the 29th of July.
Oh, we've
That's-
got a warrant as well.
And then an old case from February 2022. Going to go to an initial appearance and arraignment regarding aiming a laser pointer at an occupied aircraft. I never got a cookie. A warrant issued on May 8th. And has $1,000 bond amount. The offense is listed as having occurred on February 24th. Oh, yeah, I didn't click it. sent mail to an East Fifth Street address and notified you of it. So
All right, we'll start with the warrant out of Pima County Superior Court charging with aiming a laser pointer at an occupied aircraft. Allegedly occurred on February 24th of this year. We'll appoint the legal advocate to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Your Honor, the state would just note that the bond recommendation as far as the warrant is due to the fact that the defendant failed to appear in an arraignment multiple times. And given that the state is also recommending a bond on the drug case for time credit.
And anything further from defense?
yes, Your Honor, given that Mr. Olsen hasn't had any felony matters since he completed his last matter in 2021. We're asking you to please give him an opportunity to release to pretrial services. He indicates that he never received the summons, so he did not know that he had court in regard to this case. And if he had known, he would have appeared. And as to the new matter, we're asking that you also release him to pretrial services and allow him a smart court hearing date. As it appears, he's eligible for smart court for those charges.
Your arraignment date is August the 5th at 1:30. You will be released to the third Friday custody of pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs. No participate in monitoring and treatment as they suggest, which may include substance abuse treatment. No firearms or weapons, and no laser devices. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
On the new case, which is possession of narcotic drug possession of paraphernalia. He'll also be released to pretrial services with preliminary hearing date of August the 19th at 1:30. No alcohol or drugs, no firearms or weapons. You do have a smart court hearing, a treatment court hearing on August the 5th at 9 a.m. You understand that you need to be present at that date and time as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Olsen.
It'll be on your other paperwork. So August the 5th, you need to be in court at 9 and then again at 1:30. I would call the legal advocate and get your attorney and they will assist you. Okay, they're here right in town. So it is downtown on Church and Pennington.
Okay.
Or Church and Congress.
Thank you.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Mr. Pcho, Pcho.
Sometimes he'll speak up if he has something to say. This is a Maricopa County matter, not a Pima County matter, so probably this prosecutor isn't gonna say. I wanted to know if happy to show up to anything, but I do have a good judge tell you what she's gonna tell you first. Go from there.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a warrant here out of Maricopa County Superior Court.
Yes, Your Honor.
charges,
And
possession of paraphernalia, or narcotic drug, and aggravated driving under the influence of intoxicating liquor or drugs.
does it,
Just let her speak.
sorry, yeah.
Looks like these are alleged to have occurred in October of 2022, when you were on probation for an aggravated DUI charge.
Yes, Your Honor, I did get legal what's up, representation on that, and on the last court, I did, have those charges dropped for the last DUI of 2022.
And
I've been,
apparently
I
you
was,
filed them.
right. My legal counsel is Rosenstein is my legal counsel
In Phoenix.
in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And as my record shows, I never missed a court date or any appointment, so I'm happy to do whatever you ask me to do. I also live in Maricopa County as well, so there's no issue me short.
Currently, John Paul Jones says it's in Tucson.
Yes, that's my mailing address.
Do you
I-
check your mail?
Yes, and I
Okay. You should have a mailing address closer to home so that you can make sure you don't miss
yeah,
notices.
yeah. I just wanted the courts to know that I never missed a court appointment or any appointment. So I'm happy to do anything that the honor asked me to do
Well, I'm
to
gonna
show it.
honor their $50 bond. If you post the bond, you'll be on the Institute of Pretrial Services. You don't drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs. If you're still in custody, there'll be a review hearing on August the 29th at 9 a.m. If you're out of custody, you need to contact Maricopa County Superior Court immediately to get your next court date. Do you understand that?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Pcho.
Thank you. I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Pay the $50, you're out. If
Okay,
you don't,
I'll
then
pay it right now.
take it there.
Yeah, I'll pay it right now.
Okay.
Yes, pay it. Pay that way. Pay that way.
I will see you with the message.
Um,
I will see you with the mailings.
okay. Okay.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are
We'll test for Michael.
Mr. Testamichael. I have interim complaint here charging you with aggravated domestic violence, alleged occurred on or about the 10th of April. 3 counts. And 5 counts alleged to have occurred earlier today. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we just asked you to note that he has no felony priors. We know there is the active misdemeanor matter. And we'd ask you to note his age at 18 and consider that in your decision.
Right. Preliminary hearing date's gonna be August the 8th at 1:30. Bond at this time will be $5,000. If you post the bond, you'll be under the supervision of pretrial services. You'll participate in monitoring and treatment of their supervision, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons. Have no contact with any of these victims or go to their residence or workplace. You're going to go back with law enforcement to get personal belongings.
You understand, right?
Can you repeat that one more time, ma'am?
Sure. Your bond is $5,000. You're not to have any contact with the family members involved. You're not to go to their residence except with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. If you post the bond, you'll be under the supervision of pretrial services. They will do monitoring and treatment as they determine appropriate. No firearms or weapons, no acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tesfamichael.
Wait, I got a question, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't pay the bond, I can't leave tonight.
That's correct.
Bond is for your release. If you don't post it, you stay here until your court date of August 8th. Tomorrow is July 30th.
And how much a percent of 5,000 do I have to pay?
That's between you and a
Usually-
bonding company.
The 10% is $500.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Go out there, see what the mail says. The next one time, I can do it.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Madam Alvarado.
Mr. Vidal. Interim complaint charging you with fraudulent schemes and artifices alleged to have occurred on or about the 29th of June.
And Your Honor, the clerk has just informed me there is an adult probation hold on this individual that just came through. Adult probation. Or is that DOC?
Adult probation for the Superior Court.
Superior Court probation.
Okay, I don't, pretrial services doesn't tell me that he's got anything active.
It just came in is what the clerk is indicating, Your Honor.
Is there a case number on that?
Yard 2018, 1376, 81.
28.
All right. 28 CR 2018 1376
8101.
81001.
That's out of Maricopa County. It appears that probation may have been discharged, but I don't know.
Yes. Jason was discharged, it's done.
Your Honor, we can still go forward with the hearing so that you can advise him as to these particular charges. And I will be asking for his release. If he is held on a hold, he's held on a hold, and they will inform him. Not seeing it here, but I have to go with what the clerk is telling me.
Right, I understand. I'm not. All that stuff is over with.
Sometimes mistakes are made.
Yeah,
So
I understand.
I won't even deny that.
Whatever it is, we'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Right, we'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And did either council wish to be heard further on conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. As noted by the state did complete this recommendation before the pretrial services workup was done. Having now seen it, the defendant does have 3 prior convictions, all out of Maricopa County. Of concern to the state is his most recent, which involves forgery, which is similar to the charges he's before the court in front of now. He told pretrial services that he's lived in Tucson for 24 years, but that does not match up with criminal convictions starting in 2010 through 2018 from Maricopa County. So given the nature of the offense, as well as a potential probation hold, the state is asking for a $5,000 bond.
May I say something, Your Honor?
I'd suggest you talk to Ms. Lyon first.
Oh,
Hold on, just a second.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Or,
Your Honor, we're back available to engage in the hearing.
Okay,
I spoke, in speaking with Mr. Vidal, he says there is an error made and that it was 17 years that he was in Maricopa County, and he has been here since. He is employed full-time, and he is hopeful to have released to pretrial services without any additional financial element. Or if you feel that he should post some bond amount, we would ask that it be no more than $500 plus pretrial release.
I understand no matter what I do, you're not leaving there tonight.
what's that, ma'am?
No matter what I do, you're not leaving the jail tonight
Okay,
because of the adult probation hold.
so how did that go about?
Not in
So-
my purview.
Till they lift the hold or you talk to counsel from, you have an attorney who will come and see you if you're stuck here. They'll talk to you and they can look up and figure out where the discharge information is and get it straightened out. But for right now, there is a hold on you. So this judge can't release you on that hold. On this case regarding the fraudulent schemes, she's making a decision as to bond.
Oh, okay, so either way, I'm gonna be held, even if I pay the bond.
Correct, because the hold is there. So I
So there's
would
no-
recommend not paying the bond till you know that hold is straightened out.
If I
You
require
can-
a bond.
I mean about the hold, yeah. She hasn't decided that.
Yeah, I'm gonna set the preliminary hearing date for August the 19th, noting that there's an APO hold, probation may have been discharged. You're gonna be on the supervision of pretrial services. You won't drive without a valid license, no alcohol, or illegal drugs. Considered monitoring and treatment is directed by pretrial services and have no contact with the alleged victim. That's both the victim of the accident and your insurance company. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Vidal.
So you're released on this.
Okay.
So when you go to get out, you ask them about the hold and they'll let you know. If there's a court date set, there'll be a court date. If there's.
So I just wait here, sit in the jail and wait till somebody
You
talks to me?
talk to the CO and say that you released to pretrial and ask to speak to pretrial and they'll assist you.
So I'm staying in jail, correct?
You are staying in jail until that hold is straightened out.
After 5.
But on this case, you're released to pretrial services, so
Okay.
that's who I would ask you to talk to. And then they have access to the computers and can see what's going on with the hold.
So I'm not going home tonight.
I don't think so. But talk to pretrial and then they'll let
So
you.
am I going home? No, I'm on a probation all day, correct?
I'll go talk to them.
Am I finished?
You're finished with the judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ask the COs if they can let you speak to pretrial.
Okay.
Do you show any other hearings, Your Honor?
No, we've got somebody, but they didn't get them on the list, so I guess we'll be seen in the morning.
That way. Okay. I'm still here. I don't want to walk away till you're done.
Nope, you're good.
All right, thank you. Good night,
Good
Mr. Terrace. Good night, Jim.
Thank you, Jeff.